You know, it's Baton Rouge dumb shit. When I'm full of rep and be full of red rum, bitch.
Welcome to that Rec. You already know it's your host PayDae, and everybody loves PayDae like the 1st and the 15th. Y'all know I always gotta come slide through and put y'all in that Rec business, and today ain't no different, so let's go. But look, before we get off into this good old content, I need y'all to do your girl a solid and go ahead and hit that like button. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. That way, every time I drop anything, you will be notified, okay? So in this video, we will be talking about Demetrian Grimm. His street name is Dubug, okay? Now, if you watched my last video, then he was mentioned at the end of the video, right? But I didn't really go into details. If you didn't see that video already, make sure you check it out. I will leave the link in the description box. Okay, so this is Dubug up on the screen. If y'all know anything about some of the rap beefs that be going on in Baton Rouge, you would know that the Vultures and the BLEEDA'S have been beefing for some time, and I mean beefing bad, right? It's been bodies on top of bodies. I am gonna do a separate video where I can kind of like put all of it in order for y'all, but if y'all pay attention to my uploads, you really could piece all of it together and how and why it happened. But Dubug was a suspect in the True Bleeder case. True Bleeder and 3 other people were shot at in a car at the Mall, Louisiana in broad daylight. 2 of them ended up passing away. The other 2 ended up living. That video is also on my channel as well. I'll leave that link below in the description box. Also, True Bleeder's sister and his mom and his brother was in a separate incident where they went to go and fight, and the people that they went to go and fight ended up shooting at them, and the sister ended up passing away, and the brother ended up going to jail. And so the mama ended up losing 2 of her other kids. I will leave that video tagged in the description box as well. But let's get into Dubug and his story right quick.
Gang violence in Baton Rouge highlighted by the arrest of this suspect. Good evening. We are learning more about the man arrested yesterday in the brazen daylight shooting near the Mall of Louisiana in February.
News 2's Katie Easter joins us now with what she has found out about Demetrian Grimm and his connection to gang violence.
Well, Grimm is no stranger to police. Some of his first arrests were for traffic and drug charges. Now he's in jail for the most serious crime, murder.
Demetrian Grimm is one of the people police believe is responsible for a shooting 2 months ago that left 2 men dead and 2 other injured near the Mall of Louisiana. That's not all they believe.
This particular incident, we believe, was very targeted.
Chief Murphy Paul says feuding gangs are to blame for the brazen afternoon killing, but he said little else about the investigation. Sources tell the WBRZ investigative unit that Grimm goes by the name Dubug and belongs to this rap group.
My baby did not deserve it. My baby is a loving father.
There's a chance retaliation could be the motive. In October 2021, Malachi Dimulin, a member of the same group, was shot and killed at a Holiday Inn on Airline Highway. Dimulin was arrested in 2020 for allegedly killing a man at an apartment building on North Ardenwood Drive, but he was never formally charged. The investigative unit found that Dimulin and Grimm once shared an address. As for February's killing near the mall,
It's an active investigation. I will not give any specifics as it relates to this active investigation.
arrest records help to paint a picture of what happened. Those records indicate Grimm and 2 others followed the victims before bullets began to fly. 3 suspects were seen hopping out of the car from which those shots were fired and racing to another car which waited for them before speeding away. Police later found that car dumped with Grimm's DNA inside, something Chief Paul says was not a surprise.
We were familiar with some of the individuals involved in the shooting incident, and we continue to work efforts. Look,
Arrest records we have reviewed show that police have 2 more suspects they're looking to arrest, but they have not identified those people. Sylvia and Chris?
So as you heard in the news clip, they said that it could have been retaliation for Malachi Dimulin. He went by Ka for short, but he's unalive. I might do Malachi's story next, so y'all be on the lookout for that video. So even though he was arrested nearly 2 months after this incident happened, and he had 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted first-degree, okay? But despite all of that, y'all, guess what? A grand jury examined the case, and they ended up passing on indicting Dubug. Now, this was kind of confusing to me because they had DNA evidence on Dubug, but for whatever reason, they ended up passing on indicting him. Who am I to judge? It is what it is. Let's continue with the story. So, on top of the police mentioning that this could have been retaliation for the Malachi unaliving, which was Dubug's cousin, they actually brought up another incident. So, let's talk about that right quick. So nearly 6 months before the mall incident occurred, Dubug's 25-year-old brother, Jorus Ferguson, was unalived in a targeted attack outside the home they shared.
The brother of the man accused of killing 2 people outside the Mall of Louisiana was laid to rest this morning after succumbing to shooting injuries from a drive-by in October. Though Demetrion Grimm requested a judge let him out of jail to attend, he was denied. News 2's Katie Easter reports.
Early Saturday morning, more than 100 people gathered to celebrate the life of Jorus "Jimo" Ferguson.
I'm going to miss just talking with him. I'm going to miss the energy that he has. He always would call me with some, with projects and ideas that he would have.
Friends say Ferguson was an Army veteran, a father, and a business owner who would do anything for anyone.
He had a youth group called Rebirth, where he reached out to a lot of different youths to, he was all about being positive in the community and giving people something to, just another outlet for that positivity. The
25-year-old died on May 5th from injuries he suffered from a drive-by shooting that happened last year. Police say he was not the intended target.
And to hear that it happened to Jimo again is, no bullet has anyone's name on it.
Ferguson's brother, Demetrion Grimm, who's currently jailed for allegedly killing 2 people outside the Mall of Louisiana back in February, was denied by a judge for his request to be at the funeral. Their brother read Grimm's tribute out loud.
We came from a rough environment, and throughout it, he experienced a lot firsthand on his own, but he didn't let that dictate his decision making or person he had become.
Friends and family say Ferguson will never be forgotten. In Baker, Katie Easter, WBRZ News 2.
And breaking less than an hour ago, Baker police arrested 24-year-old Malik Landry outside of that funeral home after attendants noticed he had a gun on him inside the memorial service. He was booked for illegal carrying of weapons, possession of a stolen firearm, and violation of protective orders.
So that was the news clip that was done on Dubug's brother Jorus. He went by Jimo for short. But this wasn't the first incident that he was in. He was wrapped up in another incident before all of this happened. And I would also like to point out that it took him 7 months before he passed. So he stayed in the hospital from his injuries for like 7 months before he ended up passing away. This was actually the second time he had been shot. Everything I say in this video is alleged, okay? I did put the copyright disclaimer in the beginning of the video. It'll also be in the description box. So I'm gonna let it be known that everything I say in this video is alleged, even though I only go off of news reports and things that are public, okay? But in this incident, it was a 14-year-old that ended up shooting him because he said that he was sexually battered by Jimo in the backseat of a car. He was 20 years old at the time of his arrest, and he was charged with felony counts of indecent behavior with a juvenile and SEX battery, okay? Okay, so I'm going to read this news article to y'all about the arrest. It says, according to arrest records, the 14-year-old was investigated for attempted red rum when he said Ferguson inappropriately touched him. The 14-year-old said he was sitting in the backseat of Ferguson's car when his 16-year-old brother began talking about gay stuff with Ferguson. Ferguson then reached into the backseat and rubbed the 14-year-old's pants. This is coming straight from the news article, so I'm not adding any words or taking out any words. It actually says gay stuff in quotations. All right, let's continue. It goes on to say the 14-year-old told police that he pulled a handgun from his backpack and shot Ferguson in the head. Ferguson then got out of the car and fled the scene. Investigators spoke to the 16-year-old boy who said he had met Ferguson over Instagram months before this incident occurred. Documents say Ferguson gave the 16-year-old money in exchange for SEX favors, but was mad when the 16-year-old wouldn't have SEX. The 16-year-old told police that he was meeting with Ferguson to discuss money owed. He added that he never promised Ferguson SEX favors with the 14-year-old. He told investigators that he made SEX gestures towards Ferguson inside the car, but only saw Ferguson reach into the back seat, then the gunshot. Police obtained the 16-year-old's login information and found messages where Ferguson was speaking inappropriately towards the team. Documents say Ferguson told detectives that he was trying to sell t-shirts to the teens, but they shot him in the head. Okay, but that was a part of his past. Let's get back to the present situation. I want to point out that him and the cousin Malachi got popped 2 weeks apart from each other. So it's unclear whether it was retaliation for the brother or the cousin or both. But all I can say is, in between the two groups, it's a lot of bodies. Their cousin, Malachi Demolin, was unalived. So actually, they were popped 2 weeks apart from each other. Now, let's get back to Dubug and what actually happened with him, okay? So, the day that he was unalived, earlier on in that day, some BLEEDA'S was at a gas station in Monroe, Louisiana, and were shot. Some people took to Instagram to troll about it. Jonah B was one of these people. Jonah B and P. Youngin were trolling the BLEEDA'S about the incident that happened. P. Youngin, is signed to NBA Youngboy. And Dubug and Jonah B were together when they were unalived.
And just within the last hour, we've learned the identity of two people shot and killed on 8th Avenue this morning. According to police, 21-year-old Jonathan William and 23-year-old Demetrian Grimm were shot around 1:45 this morning. A 16-year-old girl was also shot, but she is going to recover from those injuries. Right now, Baton Rouge police have not announced any suspects in this one either.
If you want more details on the trolling incident, you can check out the video that I have in the description box. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Well, guys, that concludes this video. If you have not already hit the like button, please make sure you do so. If you enjoyed this video and you are not already subscribed, please make sure you do that and turn your post notifications on. I love you guys. Remember to love, live, and let live. I'll catch y'all next time, okay?